Within the vast spectrum of human personality, there exists a type so rare it accounts for less than 2% of the population. They are often called advocates, counselors, or guardians of the human spirit. But these labels, while true, only sketch the faintest outline of a deeply complex inner world. This is the world of the INFJ. If you are one of them, you have likely spent a lifetime feeling like an old soul in a new world, a quiet observer cataloging the emotional currents that others seem to miss entirely. You understand the language of silence, the weight of a glance, the unspoken truths that hang in the air between words. This journey is not about the familiar traits you've read in countless online profiles. We are not here to discuss your empathy or your intuition in broad strokes. Instead, we venture into the hidden corridors of your mind to shine a light on the strange, beautiful, and often misunderstood paradoxes that define your very existence. These are the truths you may have only whispered to yourself in the dead of night, the patterns you've noticed but could never quite name. Prepare to feel seen, perhaps for the very first time. The first strange truth about the INFJ is what we might call the all-or-nothing syndrome. For you, life is not a spectrum of muted grays. It is a canvas of deep, resonant colors or a stark, empty void. There is no middle ground, no lukewarm engagement. When you commit to a person, a project, or a cause, you do not simply dip a toe in the water. You plunge into the deepest part of the ocean. You give your entire being, dedicating your mental, emotional, and spiritual energy with an intensity that can astonish others. You will stay up all night perfecting a plan. You will cross continents for a friendship. You will pour your soul into a creation until it breathes on its own. This is your nature. You are built for depth, for meaning, for soul-level investment. But this intensity has an equally powerful counterpoint. The moment that a project loses its meaning, the moment a relationship feels hollow, or the moment a belief system reveals its hypocrisy, the connection is severed. It does not fade slowly, it vanishes. Like a switch being flipped, your energy retracts completely. You do not typically create loud, dramatic exits. Instead, you perform the quietest of magic tricks. You disappear. One day you are the most present, engaged person in the room, and the next you are a ghost, a polite memory. To the outside world, this can appear cold, flaky, or unpredictable. They cannot comprehend how someone so passionate could suddenly become so distant. What others fail to see is that for the INFJ, this is not an act of malice, but an act of integrity. To continue feigning interest would be a lie, and living an inauthentic life is a fate worse than loneliness. You would rather have the stark emptiness of nothing than the soul-crushing weight of something that feels meaningless. This binary existence is both your greatest strength and your heaviest burden. It ensures you live a life of purpose, but it also makes it incredibly difficult to navigate a world that is built on compromise, on just getting by. Your all-or-nothing heart is a rare and powerful engine, but it is one that demands the purest fuel of authenticity to run at all. This leads us to the second peculiar truth, a profound and chronic inability to settle. On the surface, you may appear successful, stable, and content. You may hold a steady job, maintain a beautiful home, and nurture long-term relationships. Yet, beneath this placid exterior, a relentless current of dissatisfaction often flows. It is a quiet, persistent whisper that asks, "Is this it? Is this all there is? Am I living the life I was truly meant to live?" This is not a simple desire for more money or more possessions. It is a spiritual restlessness, a deep-seated hunger for perfect alignment between your inner world and your outer reality. You don't just want a job. You need a vocation, a calling that makes a tangible difference in the world or allows you to express a fundamental truth. You don't just want a partner. You crave a soulmate, a person with whom you can share the deepest, most hidden parts of yourself without fear or explanation. Anything less feels like a betrayal of your own potential. This refusal to settle can make you a lifelong seeker. You might change careers in your 40s, move to a new country on a sudden intuition, or deconstruct and rebuild your entire life philosophy multiple times. To others, you may seem indecisive, unstable, or eternally searching. They see you abandoning things that seem perfectly good. But you are not abandoning anything. You are course correcting. You are following an internal compass that others cannot see, one that points not to true north, but to true self. The danger, of course, is that this pursuit can become a trap. You may hold on to an idealized vision of the perfect life, the perfect partner, or the perfect career, and in doing so, overlook the beautiful, imperfect opportunities right in front of you. The challenge for the INFJ is to learn the difference between settling for less and appreciating what is, while still honoring that sacred, inner voice that urges you ever onward toward a home you've never been to, but have always known. The third hidden facet of the INFJ is a unique and often crippling form of perfectionism. This is not the stereotypical, color-coded closet type of perfectionism. It is a moral, emotional, and existential perfectionism. It is not about doing things perfectly. It is about being good, doing right, and living with absolute integrity. You hold yourself to an impossibly high standard, one that you would never dream of imposing on anyone else. Every action, every word, every choice is weighed on an internal scale of meaning and impact. Anything less than your absolute best feels like a profound failure, not of the task, but of your character. This internal drive is what makes you so conscientious, so thoughtful, and so capable of creating work that is both beautiful and deeply meaningful. But it also makes you your own harshest critic. After a social gathering, you will lie awake replaying conversations, dissecting every word you said, agonizing over whether you were kind enough, smart enough, or supportive enough. You will hesitate to share your creative work, convinced it is not yet profound enough to see the light of day. This perfectionism can lead to a state of paralysis, where the fear of not meeting your own celestial standards prevents you from starting at all. Ironically, you are a master of grace and forgiveness when it comes to others. You can see the good intentions behind a friend's mistake. You can offer comfort without judgment, and you can champion the potential you see in them. Yet, you deny yourself this same compassion. Learning to offer yourself even a fraction of the grace you so freely give to the world is one of the most difficult and most necessary life lessons for an INFJ. It is the journey of accepting that you are a human being, not a human ideal, and that your worth is not measured by your perfection, but by the relentless, beautiful, and heartfelt striving of your soul. Fourth, we must explore the strange paradox of your social life, the constant, delicate dance between a deep need for solitude and a genuine love for human connection. You are often perceived as warm, engaging, and an excellent listener. You are the person friends turn to for advice, the one who remembers the small details, the one who creates a safe space for others to be vulnerable. You cherish these deep, meaningful friendships. But what most people, even those closest to you, do not understand is that every social interaction, no matter how positive, comes at a cost. It drains a finite and precious energy reserve. After a few hours of even the most soulful conversation, you feel an overwhelming need to retreat. It is not because you are angry, bored, or upset. It is a physiological and psychological necessity. You need to return to the quiet sanctuary of your own mind to process the tidal wave of emotions, thoughts, and energetic information you have absorbed from others. Without this period of solitary recharging, you become overstimulated, foggy, and emotionally frayed. This can be confusing for friends and loved ones. They may see your withdrawal as a personal rejection, wondering why you suddenly go quiet or decline invitations. This is why INFJs are not antisocial. They are selectively social. You would rather have one or two friendships that operate at a soul-deep level than 100 acquaintances. You seek a rare kind of connection with people who understand your need for space without needing an explanation, who can sit with you in comfortable silence, and who don't take your quietness personally. When you find these people, your loyalty is fierce and unwavering. The strange truth is that you can feel profoundly lonely in a crowded room and perfectly content in solitude for days on end. For you, solitude is not emptiness. It is the sacred space where you reconnect with yourself, so you can return to the world whole. The fifth strange fact is that you are, in essence, a living, breathing contradiction. To know an INFJ is to know a person who seems to be made of opposing forces, held together in a delicate, dynamic balance. You are an introvert who can be profoundly charismatic and persuasive when fighting for a cause you believe in. You are a deeply emotional being who possesses a sharp, analytical mind capable of deconstructing complex systems and strategies. You are a dreamer, a visionary who sees what could be, but you are also a pragmatist who meticulously plans for worst-case scenarios. This duality permeates every aspect of your life. You long for deep intimacy and connection, yet you fiercely guard your inner world and can push people away if they get too close too fast. You are empathetic to a fault, feeling the pain of others as if it were your own. Yet, you can be surprisingly detached and logical when making a difficult decision. You are an idealist who is often accused of being cynical. This internal push and pull can be exhausting and confusing, even for you. You often feel misunderstood because you struggle to articulate the complex, contradictory feelings swirling within you. This isn't because you are fake or unstable. It's because you see the world through multiple lenses at once, holding nuance, paradox, and complexity in a way that few others can. Finally, the sixth and perhaps most telling strange fact about the INFJ. You are often a writer, not a talker. In a live, fast-paced conversation, you may struggle to articulate the full depth and breadth of your thoughts. Your mind is like a vast interconnected web of ideas, feelings, and insights. When you are put on the spot to speak, trying to pull a single, coherent thread from that web can feel clumsy and inadequate. The words that come out often feel like a pale, oversimplified shadow of the rich, complex reality that exists in your mind. You walk away from conversations feeling frustrated, wishing you could have a second chance to say what you truly meant. This is why writing is so often your native language. On the page, you have the time and space to think, to reflect, to find the precise words that perfectly capture the intricate shades of your meaning. Writing allows you to untangle that complex web, to present your thoughts in the clear, powerful, and organized way they exist in your head. It is a safer, more controlled form of self-expression. Many INFJs have kept journals their entire lives, written poetry in secret, or find themselves crafting long, thoughtful emails and messages instead of making a phone call. It is not a lack of social skills, but a preference for a medium that honors the complexity of your inner world. In the written word, you can be your most authentic self. You can be vulnerable, fierce, poetic, and analytical all at once. People who only know you through conversation might be stunned to read your writing, to discover the incredible depth and clarity of thought that lies beneath your quiet exterior. So if you have ever felt that your spoken voice is weak, know that it is not true. Your voice is simply different. It is a measured, thoughtful, and powerful force that often finds its truest and most resonant expression, not in the fleeting air of conversation, but in the timeless permanence of the written word. To be an INFJ is to live a life of profound depth, intense feeling, and quiet contradiction. It is to navigate a world that often prizes superficiality, while you are wired for meaning. The strange truths we have explored today are not flaws to be fixed. They are the unique signatures of your personality. They are the hallmarks of a mind that sees connections others miss, a heart that feels the weight of the world, and a soul that relentlessly searches for truth and authenticity. You may feel like an outlier, a puzzle that even you cannot fully solve. But in a world that grows louder and faster every day, your quiet strength, your deep insight, and your unwavering integrity are needed more than ever. Embrace your all-or-nothing heart, your divine restlessness, your moral perfectionism. Honor your need for solitude, your paradoxical nature, and your written voice. The world may not always understand you, but that does not diminish your value. It only enhances your rarity. You are not strange. You are a masterpiece of complexity. And if this journey into your own unique mind has resonated with you, know that you are not, and have never been, truly alone.